How's it going, everybody? I am back in Fallout 4, and this time I'm going to be building a little, like, truck bed home, but the truck bed is actually going to be turned on its side. So it's from Aslam's workshop, or no, Aslam's junk wall pack, uh, and I was going to section off this side separate from the area that I had already built, but I don't end up filling it all in during this build because I have a couple other ideas. So it's just going to be this little area. So at first I was going to build a actual house as part of the wall, but I end up changing my mind here in a minute. I'm just trying to see what will fit here, and I don't like that gap, and yeah, so I end up changing my idea for this build here in a moment. It sounds like somebody's shooting guns in the background. Apparently I got attacked in the middle of building and I didn't even realize it. I feel like that's happened multiple times now at this place. But it wouldn't let me actually pick up my place anywhere tool without picking up the piece of the half wall that I had placed. And so I've been having a lot of issues with place anywhere. Originally it just kept crashing my game, and then I couldn't do a lot of things, and then with this build I just had an issue where it wouldn't let me actually like pick up the place anywhere tool at all, even if I destroyed it or if I stored it, whatever, no matter what, it wasn't really working. So I mean, I don't even like cut that out. You guys can see all the issues I was having with it. But I ended up getting rid of that because I had the idea of using a car as the back wall, because I knew I wanted to use a car as part of the house, but I thought that this was pretty cool. So I took this piece from Aslam's junk wall pack, and it's up on its side. It's a bed of a truck. It's pretty open. And I'm just trying to get it to where it kind of fits in evenly with the actual junk wall that I have there. And I am going to go ahead and I fill in this bottom area because I wanted to have a floor that fit. And this pallet, actually fits pretty well right in the middle of it. And so I just go ahead and I pillar glitch this into the bed of this truck so that it kind of looks like they built into the back of that truck. And you can see it fits pretty well. And so the next thing I needed to do is I needed to add a roof on top of this. And so when trying to decide for a roof, I ended up just using a regular shack roof. I thought about using one of those cloth ones because it kind of only covers the three beams on the actual roof area. But I figured that it's already scrappy enough because it's in the side of a bed of a truck. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a shack roof. Make it look a little bit nicer at least. And so I based it off of that beam on the side of that junk wall and then on the top of the bed of the truck. You can see when I move it down, I try to have it actually supported on that beam on the right, and then I try to make it where those beams on the actual roof don't glitch underneath the bed of the truck or the side of the bed of the truck. It's even. And so the next thing that I need to do is add some more floors, because I was gonna make it where it was at least a little bit bigger. And so I just decided to use some more pallets and kind of place them out on the side so that it kind of is like a porch type of thing. And I placed them a little bit underneath too, so that it kind of looks like it connects into it. And so the next thing I needed to do was add some walls, and I was trying to figure out how to add walls to this, but I needed the floors to be up against the side of the junk wall because I kind of wanted the junk wall to be like part of the wall in the house just because that's easy enough. And so I needed to add a couple of plywood pieces, not only just to make the floor a little bit sturdier, but to even it out along this side. And so like right here, I'm just placing plywood pieces so that it kind of gets around that curve, sort of. And then thankfully this just snaps to the side of it. It wouldn't snap to that side, which I was kind of disappointed, but at the same time that's fine because I do find a fix, pretty easy fix to that. So I end up picking one of these plywood walls, and you can see there's a gap on the right side, so I move this to fill in that gap as best I can. And then I thought about putting something up here to kind of close off this side, but no, I end up just leaving it open. But what I do end up doing is closing off this side over here. I try to blend that little half wall. So I end up trying to just do a pillar glitch, and it won't let me place what I'm trying to place. So I ended up having to, or I turned it around to see if it would, because sometimes different angles let you build. But what I ended up having to do is going out and going into the glitch tools, and I just get some rugs, and I place this on the edge of the rugs. I place it a little bit farther out so that I had more room to work with that one rug. And then I can easily, but for some reason the angle, it wasn't letting me actually place the pillar, so I wasn't really able to place it at all angles, which is not very good. I don't know exactly what the issue is there, but I end up just moving that out a little bit farther and then trying again. And I think I get it this time. But this is a majority of this build. The rest is kind of just junk walls, stuff like that, filling in this side of the build. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole house. There's a couple more details I have to do. I had to fill in this corner because there is a little bit of a gap between the wall, the half wall, and the floor, the plywood pieces I have placed. So I moved that out of the way because I figured that it would be easier to place. And it ends up fitting right in. And then I just move that longer plywood piece all the way back in and up against that plywood wall on the right. And then I need to fill in that gap up there. I tried to see if it would snap, or not snap, but just like sit on top of that junk wall well enough. And I'm trying to see which one will actually look the best right here. And I think it's that one. That's the one that I preferred. I thought it looked cool because it just looks like it kind of got boarded up. And as I said before, I was having a lot of issues with Place Anywhere, so I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I'm supposed to do that. And then I ended up moving on and just working on the junk wall after. I wasn't going to record this, and then I decided that you guys probably should see this part. That's why that van kind of just appeared and I didn't show you guys up until now. And I kept grabbing other stuff. But that's the only thing that I had added was that van. I may have added that fence that I mentioned that I was going to try to do. But right here I'm just trying to see the angle without it quitting me out. I wish I had more room to build. Or at least walk out and see what I'm building. I wish it didn't auto cancel the build mode if you weren't within like a certain distance of the wall, Because sometimes if you build like on the edge, you can't see every angle of your build. So like right there, it's about to revert what I just did, and I just go for it. I just place it down, and it ends up turning out all right. There's a little bit of a clipping, but it's easy to fix. I just move that to the other side, and there you go. It ends up working out just fine, and I only have a couple more pieces that I place down, and then we'll get into the final tour in about another minute or two. But I just wanted to connect this wall over to the side of this house, so this house that's already built here that I can't get rid of is going to be part of the wall. And so I was just trying to find pieces that would kind of look good, and so I just used the place anywhere tool to move these pieces into place. And then I wanted to find something that kind of filled in the gap on the side of the house, and I figured that one of these sideways cars, the cars up on the side, that would fit in, and it actually ended up looking really good, I thought. Of course, I can't do select all here because it keeps picking up everything. I moved that out of the way this time so that I don't accidentally grab everything or grab that water. But like right here, you can see it doesn't look too out of place. It looks like it goes in pretty close, and all I did was sink it into about the height that I needed it, and then I used the place anywhere tool to move this, because like for some reason whenever I recorded this, the place anywhere tool really was not working properly. It was really odd, but I just move it over to kind of fill in as much of the space as I can and not have too many things clipping. But that's about all that I built. From here on out was the decoration, and then here's the tour. And right here, I just kind of make it like an open area. So like there's a small little house over there, like I said, a couple building areas, got a power armor station, weapon bench, armor bench. That's the guy that lives over here. I added like a couch out here and a little box as like a table. And I think that the scrap like decoration and stuff looks really good. This is like a really interesting shack, I thought. And I filled in the space on that left side with a half wall. And you can see, like I said, I put a fence up in that top spot. And then I really think that this works really well for such a small little shack. You can have a bunch of filler shacks like this. If you did like a junkyard type of build or something like that, you could easily turn County Crossing into a junkyard or something like that. Just add like a warehouse and then just have tons of junk, scrap, stuff like that. Take you on the outside of the fence, because so far from the settlement, I've made it super well protected on the outside. A lot of spikes and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed building this. I thought it was a really interesting build. Went along with about everything else that I've built here. And yeah, a couple more builds here, I think. It's not going to be massive or anything, but I do want to try to rebuild the house at some point. I haven't touched that yet. And I'm going to do something with this farm, I think. That's what that fence right there is me trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. I do show you guys me building that. I'll show you guys that in my next video. I'm going to get rid of that, and then I'm going to rebuild it. But yeah, you can see I'm going to section this off from everything. But let me know what you guys think of this build. Check out some of my other videos while you're here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.